and gentlemen, welcome to Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak. This is episode 64, and with me today is Blayro Blackspine. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on, and without any hesitation,
Thank you for having me.
let's get to the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Still would like to know, how long have you been playing Amcard?
About 8 years.
Okay. And the carryover question to that is, how long have you been aware of Amcard, or what? How did you discover Amcard?
I blame my wife.
Okay.
She's the one. I've known her I've known about it since we've been together. We've been together about 10 years. Oh crap. No, it's been longer than that. We've been together about 13 years. I've known about it about 10 or 11. But like the first, I think, year and a half we were together, I wanted nothing to do. I was like, that's a bunch of geeks and nerds. I want nothing to do with that.
Okay. All right.
And then I just kind of warmed up to it.
Yeah. It's what ends up happening, right? So Kenjin asked the question to go along with this of what keeps you in Amcard?
The camaraderie. Getting to meet new people and hang out with friends, especially when you can wail and beat on them and then not call the police. Looking forward to park, where you get to see people that you don't see on an everyday basis and have fun.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I love it. Still, I would like to know, where does the persona come from? Tell us about Blayro.
Blayro, I'm very big on Viking history. And Blayro, it was just I wanted to have kind of a Viking backstory, and it's just something that just popped in my head. I wasn't even like searching for it. I was sitting down, writing names out on a piece of paper, just kind of like doing okay, is this good? This good? This isn't this good? And some way or another, I wrote Blayro, and I was like, that's unique. I don't think anyone else have that name. I'm taking it.
All right.
Because I wanted to kind of be unique, where no one, like I've seen in the orc, where there's a lot of people that they're all over kingdoms, but they all have the same name.
Sure.
And I wanted to be the unique one, the only one.
Right.
And that one just fit the bill.
that it does. There would definitely be no others like you, that's for sure. So Demon Abuli would like to know, what is the significance of the stags on your heraldry?
That was, to me, just something that shows Norse power, where you got the big Viking, and seeing that I'm 6'9", I'm over 300 pounds, that just kind of fits. That's what will pull my sled. I have big old stags that just pull it, and where, being from Viking heraldry, we're in the cold. Those are things that live in the cold very well. And that's what something that gets me around, and something I can ride, big old me riding on this big animal into a village, it's an opposing force.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You do have an interesting story here when it comes to your awards, because you did have some trouble with some awards being carried over once you came to Dragonspine. But what award or achievement would you say that you're most proud of receiving?
I would probably say it'll be my second Order of the Warrior. Because going into that event, there are in Rising Wind, there are a lot of skilled fighters. I mean, a lot of skilled fighters. And to go into an event where I wasn't expecting to do well, to be able to get that second warrior, that was probably one of my top 3 crowning achievements being an amp guard so far.
Okay, fantastic. Well, hopefully through the rest of this, we'll get to talk a little bit about some of the other achievements. The next question, of course, is from Morgan, and he would like to know, what's your favorite battle game or battle game type?
Um, my favorite one, is I gotta say it's Kill My Killer. I love that game.
Okay, all right.
Because of the fact of you get to go after people. And it's not like it's something that just starts and is over quickly. That and Ring the Bell. I haven't, with the parks that I've been in, they're all been kind of small parks.
Mhm.
So having really big battle games, I haven't really been a part of. But now I'm hoping with SP, with Scorpion's Peak, with the demographics that we're in and being able to be a larger park, that we can get more of the battle games in, more of the themed battle games in, and being able to do more stuff that's in the books, bring out the monsters, bring out the role playing, and just have a blast.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. If from all the things that I've heard about how SP is going right now, you guys are growing exponentially. So that you're going to have a great opportunity for it. That's for sure. So when you're playing these battle games, what is your favorite class to play?
At the beginning was Barbarian. Because honestly, a barbarian can use just a type about any weapon, any throwy, pick up rocks and everything. But then I started focusing on warrior, because that was just a class where you actually had to hone your skill. But lately, because of my back surgery and my knee surgery, and not being able to do a lot of running, I've really been interested in becoming an archer, because I can still do damage with that class. So I've been doing a lot of reading on archery. I'm in the works of planning on getting a bow and making some arrows so I can start using those skills in doing archery.
There you go. We got some fine archers in Dragonspine, and hopefully you'll get to meet them and experience that. I got to see at Pegasus Valley's mid-range last weekend. I got to see Sir Alucard rocking his crossbow, and that's a sight to see. But yeah, when you're not playing archer though, Deverick has the question, of course, of what's your favorite weapon loadout?
Say that one again.
What's your favorite weapon loadout?
My favorite weapon. I like the polearm.
Okay.
But I'm told I'm not allowed to use it because I already have an incredible reach.
Yeah.
And that would basically make it almost impossible to get into 2 damage. So it would be too bad of an advantage for me to have.
That's fair. That's fair. It seems like the tall players that we experience always want to use the polearm, so it just fits the trend at this point. All right. Well, those are the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Let's move on to the 3 questions KOK viewers have been asking since episode 1, and we're going to start with the modified questions. Sir Glenulf should have, at this point, received his toaster from Sir Alucard. How do you feel about Sir Glenulf also getting a soda maker?
Well, I'm not a soda drinker myself. But I mean, if he's the one that likes it, hey, by all means.
There we go. There we go. I'm sorry, Morgan would like to know, what's your thoughts on bears?
Now that's I love bears. I've
Hey.
always loved bears. From being a kid, this is one thing not a lot of people do know about me, but I really don't care anymore. When I was 8, I had 232 stuffed bears, and every bear had a name, and every bear had a birth certificate.
All right. Okay.
So that was one of the things that I was very proud of as a kid. But I've always had a soft spot for bears. My top two bears are the black grizzly, because of what they can do,
Hmm.
and the polar bear because of the conditions it can live in.
All right. All right. Well, polar bear is Morgan's bear. So Morgan, I'm going to give you a half point for being second place in Blayro's favorites, but I'm going to take a full point because you did mention bears. So point for Kodiak. Stillhat would like to know, because you mentioned black bears and polar bears, which one would you pick? The Growler bear or the Pizzly bear?
I don't even know where even to go on that one.
Well, so it just matters on which one of the two bears is the father between a black bear and a polar bear when they mate. So I think
I would probably say, of the two, the grizzly would be the more dominant
okay.
of the two. Um, just seeing if those two bears met, I really think the grizzly would be the more dominant one because that's just their temperament.
Okay. So in this scenario, they're mating. And would you assume that it would be a male first, which would be the Growler bear, or would it be a female first, the Pizzly bear?
I would probably say it would be the male first.
Okay. All right. Growler bear it is. Fair enough. You already answered Eliza Joy's question about your favorite bear. You gave first and second place. That's how Morgan got on the board. But Stillhat would like to know, are Morgan and Stillhat your favorite bears compared to Kodiak?
I think I like to take a mulligan on that one.
Okay. That's a good choice. You know what, Stillhat? He still didn't pick you or Morgan in that one, so I'm going to take another point for fear. So last,
there
go ahead.
there are some things that I was taught, as a kid, that there's certain people you really don't piss off. Morgan, and then plus if I pick Morgan, it's kind of favoritism because he is my PM. But she is the queen of our kingdom, and yeah, you don't want to piss the queen or the king off.
There you go. That's true. That's true. All right, Stillhat, we'll give you a point because you are queen, your majesty. And then we'll get to the last of the general questions before we get to your questions. And that's your thoughts on Dragonspine's mobile pool and or jacuzzi. Dragonspine, it's a joke. We're not actually getting one, but if we were hypothetically, how do you feel about it?
Oh, jacuzzi, hands down.
Okay. All right. And would bears be allowed in the jacuzzi?
By all means.
All right. I like where this is going. And Blayro, how would you fund this mobile pool and or jacuzzi?
How would I fund it? Well, seeing that it would be a kingdom, I would probably say that the people that wanted to utilize it would probably need to contribute to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to make everybody, because people that weren't going to use it, I wouldn't want them to have to contribute to it because they weren't going to experience.
Yep.
The people that do want to utilize it, well, hey, kick up some funds so we can do this as a group.
There we go. There we go. Dragonspine, just to point out, we're only 3 parks short of each park having a month for a calendar. So, outside of Redbeard's opportunity of just shirtless males for the calendar, if we got 3 more parks, we could just do a park for each month of the calendar. But anyways, those were the 3 questions the KOK viewers have asked since episode 1. And now we're going to get into Blayro's questions. We do start, however, with a carryover question, which is, what is your weirdest flex? What is the weirdest thing that you could say that you've done that maybe not a lot of people have?
The weirdest. Well, I'm gonna keep it very family friendly here.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Eating the weirdest. I gotta say, the weirdest thing I have done is eating a omelet made by the sun.
Okay. All right. That is a weird flex. We'll go with that. Before we get into the further questions, Kenjin is in the chat and would like to know about your former parks. So just give us some rapid fire names of some of your former parks from what would be the Midwest or Mideast. I'm sorry.
So I have been at 4 parks, 5 altogether, including Scorpion's Peak. Started off in the Knight's Legacy, which is part of Rising Winds. Was there for most of my Amtgard time. Was a member. My second park was Blackfire Pass. Also, actually before Blackfire, was a park in San Angelo, Texas, which I can't remember the name of the park. My understanding the park name has changed. So there was that one there. Was only there for a couple of months because we wound up leaving Texas and going back to Ohio. Upon going back to Ohio was Blackfire Pass, which is probably one of the bigger parks of Rising Winds. And then moving over to Rhode Island, we started a park called Mist Haven, but COVID effectively knocked that out of the park because the day that we were supposed to have our first park day, everything got shut down. And we weren't able to get it off the ground. And then Scorpion's Peak.
Yes. And couldn't be happier to have you in Dragonspine, that's for sure. All right, Blayro, what is your favorite Amtgard moment?
My favorite Amtgard moment. Let me close that a little bit. There we go. My favorite Amtgard moment. I'm gonna actually say it's probably getting SP off the ground, honestly. Okay. For the main fact of after putting all that work in we put in with Mist Haven and not even be able to hold a park day because of COVID. And then honestly, through all the hurdles and the hills that we had to go through getting, Scorpion up and going, I think once we actually had our official first park day, that was probably one of the greatest achievements I've had being in Amtgard so far.
That's fantastic to hear. It was a lot of effort, and there was a lot of people involved with that. And I know we do have questions to thank other people down the road here, but I'm just going to give you this opportunity now, man. Who do you want to say thank you to for that? And go ahead and take that time.
So there's just from what of the people I know that were working on behalf, Tristan over in Burning Lands, you yourself, Morgan, and Stillette. Those are the 4 people that I know for a fact. I know there was probably countless other people that were involved that I didn't know about, but those are the 4 people that I just have to say thank you, from the bottom of my heart, because honestly, nobody had to even go to bat, because they could have just said, hey, you're on your own, you're a freehold, you have to do everything, and then we'll meet you on the other side if you ever get there.
Yeah.
but just for those four people, going to bat for us and standing up for us and helping us realize this. I mean, that is from the bottom of my heart. I just have to say thank you to everybody.
Well, I know that those people involved were, but also huge shout out to Sir Smiley, who's AIBOD's president, for working with Stillhet and myself, and I know you and Morgan as well, to make sure that even though the process was rocky, it was still followed through with. So Sir Smiley, also, I would thank you for that.
And just give a shout out also to our queen, and she had one of the person help her, our flag back here. That was a very welcome surprise. I was not expecting it. We also have, I don't know exactly when we're getting it, but we have a banner that's being made to replace the one that I bought that said Scorpions Pass when we first named the park.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one that's being made to replace that one. I can't wait to see it. But like I said, it's just with all the help that we have gotten, it's been amazing.
Yeah. So you're gonna meet the other person with that, because not only did our queen help with that, but Dame Anna Bali helped with that, and Dame Anna Bali is my shotgun partner for all the traveling that I do. So you will get an opportunity to meet Dame Anna Bali then probably the first time you meet me in person. I can almost guarantee you that. All right. So carryover question from Lightning is, what's your favorite piece of garb that you own?
I would say the garb that I can't find right now.
Okay. Yeah.
That I planned on wearing today, because it's my colors.
Okay.
That is my favorite piece. The one that I'm actually wearing right now was given to me by a fellow member of Blackfire Pass, because I was doing a lot of color credits because I didn't have garb. And I'm kind of like a stickler with the rules that, in order to get a class point, you have to have some kind of portrayal of the times on, not just jeans and a shirt.
Sure.
So this isn't a garb that I will be wearing out anytime soon, because this is not a summer piece.
Sure.
It's very heavy, but I'm wearing it now because I'm sitting in air condition. So
Fair enough.
It probably won't come out till the fall, but because it is warm. But yeah, I would say it's my blue and black one, because of the fact of it's those are my favorite colors, and I've used them as my choice colors until I think it'll be my favorite piece of garb until I can get the garb I want, which is to match the shield that I want to get.
Okay.
Because the heraldry is the exact shield I want to get.
Oh, all right. Well, again, many artisans in Dragonspine. I'm sure somewhere, if there's a commission that needs to be made, you could find one. And if you wanted to do it on your own, it would lead to my next question, which is, what kind of A&S do you like to do?
Weapons.
Okay.
Weapons and shields. Because of the craftsmanship that has to go into it. You can't just sit there and just whip one up, and you got to make sure the integrity stands up.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some people that can just go and throw one quick together, but me, I like to take my time because I want to make sure that it's going to last.
Yeah, for sure. And you are in a perfect spot for wanting to be good at weapons, because we have an owl in Yuma who's on his way to becoming a master owl, and also we have an owl in Wyvern's Roost who with time could also be a master owl, and that's Kenjin and Yang. And I know you probably already met Yang.
Multiple times.
Yeah. So the weapon tech over in Arizona is going to get really good for Dragonspine. I can feel it. So this is the question. We talked a little bit about this before we came on, but what kind of awards or titles are you interested in?
So the path that I would like to go is I would definitely like to become a Master Rose, because I do love to help. And then I would also like to become a Crown Knight.
Okay.
Those are the two paths that I would definitely like to get on to.
Fantastic. You can't argue with either of those. And Blayro, you mentioned this before we came on, so I want to say it now because I'm on camera now and more people could see it. Plus, everyone knows my opinions on this. You don't need to be squired, my friend. You do not need to do that. There is a font position for non-squired knights, and you could do it. You put the grind to it. I believe in you.
Well, well, of every kingdom I've been a part of, that's the one thing I've heard almost just about every knight that I've talked to is you have to be under a knight to become a knight.
Mm, no, no. Not only do you
and
not
I can see
need,
you don't like that.
no, absolutely not. I am a strong believer in turning down belts because I'm going to do it on my own. Yeah, but so could you. But if you want to find a knight, let me know because I know all of them. They're all of Dragonspine's knights, and they're good people. So Cato had a carryover question. Cato has the same carryover question every week because I really want Cato to understand how much this is unnecessary. But what's your thoughts on back shields?
I can honestly say I haven't really gotten to know all the different shields.
Sure.
So I can't really answer that question.
Okay. Good. Good. Fantastic. We'll just move away from back shields. All right. The next question is you talked about wanting to be a crown knight at some point. Currently, that means at that point you'd get to choose to either be a paladin or anti-paladin with the white or black phoenix. So what is the choice? Are you a paladin or anti-paladin?
Well, from my understanding, I mean, I see a lot of people that want to go towards the light.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of would want to be. I mean, I don't know if it's ever been said, but kind of want to be like a rogue knight where I could be on either side.
So, yeah, Cody, I was trying to push for the Gray Knight, and let me give you a little bit of story here because you're new to Dragonspine, right? So, the anti-paladins of Dragonspine, when a new knight is made, if they decide to be part of the anti-paladin group, uh, the anti-paladins will bring them ice cream towards their knighting. But if they choose to be a paladin, the anti-paladins will bring them kale and salted water, tears. I am suggesting the third route, which is the Grey Knights, and we bring you Santa Fe Grill, so you get a burrito.
I like that one.
There we go. The Grey Knights are starting to grow. There you go, Sir Francis. If you're listening, the Grey Knights are growing ever so slowly. All right. Last question before we get in the second group of questions, and it has to do with something that's coming up for Dragonspine. And it has to do with the Capora, which is going to be up for vote this weekend. Have you got a chance to look at the Capora? And Stillhat would like to know, did Kodiak, but I'm going to edit that, did Kodiak, Sir Francis, Kenjin, Stillhat, Beatrix, and every single person that helped us with the peer review, did they all do a good job?
So, I have been slowly reading. I haven't fully read the whole thing, but from what I have read, yes, I do like it. I think it's going to be something that's going to be good for the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Once I finish reading it, which should be done by tomorrow, because I do like to read, I have more of an informed decision. I've been able to read it as quickly as I can because I've had issues with my phone provider that I've had to been dealing with constantly for the past 12 days, and dealing with my two little munchkins. That's the other reason why I do Amguard is my kids love Amguard. They both have names. My 10-year-old is itching on when can I start getting credits.
Right.
Because he loves playing healer, he loves playing assassin. This kid will sit there for hours on end reading the rule book and reading the Dragonar and just sit there and carefully studying on what he can and can't do.
Right. Right. Well, that's awesome. I have an 8-year-old who's his big push right now is that he wants to make sure that he gets to keep the name The Cub as his Amp Guard name. He doesn't want to not be the Cub because that's what we call him right now. So
which fits.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kodiak, the little spawn, but yeah, he's not into the book yet or anything like that. But yeah, having kids that want to play the game is a really good reason to be part of the game. So, starting off your next set of questions has a little bit more to do with the reason that you're in Dragonspine, which is your park. But we're going to start it off with a carryover question from Sir Smiley, which has been used for all of Sir Smiley's friends, and I'm going to use against you now. When are you coming to visit me?
It is in the plans. It all depends on if I take my car out to a field and slap some C4 on it and blow it up, or if I get a better car than what I have.
Sure.
Well, driving through the summer of Arizona and the summer of New Mexico with no AC, that is not fun.
Nope, I hear you. I hear you. My Hummer's HC just went out, so or AC just went out, so I feel you.
My goal is by the end of this year is to visit every park within the kingdom.
Fantastic. I have a date for you then for coming to Las Cruces, and that would be the first weekend in November, because that is Las Cruces's event that we host called Maze, which ends up usually being roughly the kingdom's end reign. So,
okay. I would have to make sure. I'd make sure to put that on. Send me that date and everything, and I'll make sure I put it on my calendar.
Absolutely. Well, also Morgan will definitely let you know, because that is one of the things Morgan likes to attend is the Maze. But anyways, that'll be fantastic. I can't wait to have you around. Let's get to Kenjan's question, which starts the questions about Scorpion's Peak. What is your home park, and what is the local Amp-Guard culture like there?
Well, I haven't really been here long enough to see what I would call SP my home park. But I haven't been here in Arizona long enough to see what the role playing crowd is like. I'm hoping to find it out here in the coming months. Going out and talking to people and trying to get people to come to park. Maricopa County is 4.25 million people large.
Mm-hmm.
And coming from the park that we were at in Ohio and trying to start Misthaven, Maricopa County is bigger than the state of Rhode Island, period, in population-wise.
Yes, it is.
The population last year of Rhode Island was 1.25 million people. The population last year for Maricopa County was 4.825 million people. So, with the Arizona Renaissance Festival being held very closely, and they have a Comic-Con here, I know there is a very big geek population. That's the best way to put it. And me and Morgan have been talking, and we've been talking to our champion Elias on just getting together and printing up a whole bunch of flyers and going out to wherever they do Magic the Gathering, wherever they do whatever, and just passing out the flyer and talking to people.
Yep.
And that's the other thing I like about it is we've in our first 2-3 weeks, we just had, people walk up and ask what we were doing. Yep. That's one thing I love about it, being able to tell people about AmpGuard, and I love that. I did recruit in the Army for 3 years, and that's what it feels like.
Right. All right. So let's do a little bit of shout out for Scorpions Peak. When and where does it meet?
We meet at 701 South Extension Street in Mesa, at Kleiman Park, normally in Shelter House number 5. And we meet there at 12 o'clock, and we're there until, well, basically everybody wants to go home.
Right. And like you said earlier, bringing food so that people will stick around longer is not against your choices. So,
oh no, it's not. When we've actually put this on the schedule. The first Saturday of every month, we are going to have lunch.
Awesome.
Which we're extending that to the whole kingdom. If they want to come out and hit each other and eat some good food, well, hey, come on out.
I think you're going to get some people visiting just because of that. I'm certain it'll be fantastic.
When you offer free food, that really brings in a lot of people.
Yes, it does. When before COVID, Dragonspine Las Cruces was doing a Shire theme, and I brought food out every week, like trying to get people engaged. And yeah, people will come out of the woodworks if they can experience some free food. So
if I could actually afford to do it every week, I probably would.
Yeah, well, I'm a little bonkers, so I've been known to do stuff a little bit more than I'm supposed to, but whatever, it's fine. Still had the next question, of course, and you've already mentioned it. You've already given the shout out to him about it. But how do you like your park banner?
Love it. The first weekend that they came back from El Paso, we had it up. This past weekend, I forgot it at home because it wasn't in the place it was supposed to be. My wife says I have OCD. Well, I don't think I do. It's just everything has a place that it's supposed to be, but it will definitely be up at Park this Saturday. I've always had the idea of having one of these for our park, and it was really more so when we were our first week down at OG, where they had a rope going from a tree to a post, and there was a flag representing people and flags representing the parks.
Yep.
And now that we go down to OG, we can throw our own up there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely is. How many people are you rocking at Scorpions Peak right now?
We're averaging anywhere from 14 to 15.
Okay. Yeah, that's great numbers. That's Barony numbers in Dragonspine. That's we're good.
That's what I've been told multiple times.
Yeah. Wait until the audits come.
My goal, I mean, and this is a very plausible goal. My goal is to be before the end of next year, of the end of 22. My goal is for SP to be a duchy.
Wow, that's a strong goal. But I know that if anyone was going to do it, you have shown the dedication already to get it going. So, yeah. And Dragonspine will support that for sure. So you've already kind of mentioned this. with the flyers and going to the Comic Cons and wherever people are playing Magic. But Damon, I believe, was interested in some of the other ideas you had to build your park.
Well, using social media as a tool.
Mm-hmm. You cut out there,
Everybody,
Blayro.
does that. Okay, yeah, we both kind of did.
Okay, so just if you could just start over from using Facebook as a tool.
Using all social media.
Okay.
Because not everybody does print.
Yeah.
So, I'm also working with one of my fraternity brothers, who is helping me kind of do a short hype video that we're going to put on YouTube.
Nice. That's great. That's a great idea. So you're a new park and you're new to our kingdom, but this is a space for you to get an opportunity to talk to all of Dragonspine. What is some of the stuff that Scorpion's Peak needs, like supplies or anything like that?
I think our biggest thing right now is we need to have, I guess, a little bit of loner weapons for. I wouldn't say every class, but like the major classes, and then also tunics.
Okay. Yeah. So
I don't know how to make one.
So T tunics for basic tunics, loner weapons, those just seem like reasonable things. And Dragonspine, if you're listening and you're planning on making a trip to Scorpion's Peak, and you can find a way to donate something to help them get their populace off the ground, you would be helping the kingdom as an overall. Kenjin is asking, would you like spell balls?
Definitely.
There you go, Kenjin. Yes, he would. All right. So, your queen would like to know, Stillhat would like to know, what's your favorite thing about your new park?
The favorite thing about my new park, I would say the location.
Okay.
I don't think we could have found a better location. We have flat lands to do battle games. We have some hilly area to do battle games. I would say that probably would be my favorite thing. And being in Mesa, it's kind of more of a central place. It's along the bus line, so people that don't, I guess, for people that want to come to park that don't have a car, they can get there by the bus.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. No, I know that when you found your location, Morgan gave it a seal of approval very quickly. He was very, very happy about that location. So, very good job. So, here's a carryover question from Cato. Would like to know, it's Shakespearean at this point, right? To flurb or to not to flurb?
Again, it's one of them things to where I haven't been in the game long enough to make a opinion on that because I haven't really experienced it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. GOTC, Gathering of the Crowns, whatever you're calling it, what Cato puts up a inflatable tavern, and he does RP and he does quests. And yes, there will be battle games there as well. But if you want an opportunity to see if you're a flurb or not, come find me and we'll do some RP and some questing.
Okay.
Because that's where I go. I love me some Cato RP. Moving on. Again with we have a plethora of carryover questions that are about to come at you. This one's from Kenjin. What does your perfect Amp-Guard event look like?
Perfect Amp-Guard event. That would be where there was no drama.
Mm-hmm.
The food was on point. The battle games were on point where there were no protest. There was, no misgivings. Where when you left, it was all cleaned up. There was no trash. That would be the perfect Amtgard event.
Okay. So it would be Amtgard, but it would be with all of the hiccups of a typical event just removed.
Basically.
All right. So this is a more philosophical, but it could be reality at some point. If you could create a ladder award for Amtgard that doesn't already exist, what would it be for, and what would you call it?
Um, hmm. I would say it would be a I don't even know what I would call it, but it'd be someone that protects the game of Amtgard.
Okay.
It's like a master at arms.
Okay. All right. That sounds fantastic. I usually follow up that question with the more broader question of if you could change a rule in Amtgard, what would it be and why?
I think the rule I would change would be I don't know how people would take this or what, but the rules um would be to change the difference of, especially when you get into larger areas, but the distance on how far parks have to be.
Mm,
Um, because it might not be, you might have someone that wants to go to a park, and it's not that they don't like this person. It's just they just don't mesh, and they want to start their own park. That, but they can only find a park that's maybe, but they can't do it because, well, it's way below the 30. I think if they did away with that distance, you will actually probably see more parks popping up.
yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone in Dragonspine is pretty much aware that your park came with the questions of population density versus Phoenix, but there's so many people in that area, and the Phoenix metro area being 70% of all of Arizona's population, having another
Yeah.
park should have been fine. And here we are. We're fine. We're not going to get any farther into the weeds about it. Scorpions Peak exists, and we're happy for it. Um, Still, I would like to know how many households are you a part of?
Households. I am a part of. Let's see. Spectral disaster. I do believe four. It might be five, but I can remember four off the top of my head.
Okay. All right. Any of them by name that you want to give a shout out to?
Well, we have the House of the Disaster Recovery Crew, which that is, we are trying to be, the best way to describe it is when a park, and I'm trying to grow this even broader, but when a park or a person of Amtgard has had some kind of disaster, whether it was um, natural made or man made, that the DRC would be able to help them recover.
Okay.
Because it might be someone that's part of a park, but the park doesn't have the funds nor the tool to help them.
Hmm.
Then we would look at stepping in and being able to help them.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. Um,
And then I'm also part of the 22nd Legion, which the 22nd Legion is um, for active and retired military.
mm,
Um, which I love being part of this household because of the fact of, we all know what it's like to be in the military. Um, then I'm also part of the House of the Spectral Dragon, um, which is for autism.
hmm.
And then there is Antguard that I'm a part of that household. Um, so those are the five households that I'm a part of.
Fantastic. Uh, so Kenjin has a question. What inspired you to start or join the DRC?
Because of the purpose. I actually started out just as a member, and then when the talks got into more of really forming what the DRC was about, the gentleman that started it kind of took a step back from the game, and he was looking for someone to continue leading it. And he came to me and asked me if I would do it. So I've been head of the household for the last year and a half, 2 years.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so we talked a little bit about Amtgard events, but Damon, I believe, wants to know about the event that you're planning, and if you could tell us a little bit about that.
The event that we're planning is going to be held September 18th at Scorpion's Peak. It's going to be called Battle Under the Sun. We are in the works on the format, but it's really going to be a fighting tournament. But we also want to kind of give a shout out to our archers and have like a little archery tournament as well.
Okay.
And then my GMR approached me today about having a cooking aspect of it for the non-fighters, which we're currently talking about. But we are definitely having the fighters and the archery definitely a part of it. And it's just basically, it's really a showcase tournament, to show what Dragonspine has to offer.
Cool. Gotta love that. Can't argue with that. That'd be great. And we get more dates and times on that. We'll get it posted to the Kingdom page, so everyone who's listening will be able to be aware of when that's going to start. So we have a couple of questions here. Stillhat has a question about getting permission from you. So Stillhat and also Zana are working on different kind of decks where Dragonspine is involved. Stillhat would like to know if she has your permission to be part of the Dragonspine deck.
Oh, most definitely.
There we go. I knew it was going to be a yes, but why not? And then the last, we have 3 more questions before we get to the most difficult questions. We call them the funny questions. Can you tell us of one night that has influenced you to be the person that you are?
That is Sir Juicy of Rising Winds. Just being, whenever I see him, I'm always picking at his brain about something. But whenever I had a question, he was always available.
Awesome.
And honestly, he's really the only knight I know personally. But my wife has been friends with him for, she's been in Amtgard 10, 12 years, and she's known him just as long.
Cool. All right. Well, Sir Juicy, there's your shout out. And the last question is actually going to break some breaking news on KOK. But most of the people in the backgrounds were already aware of it. How excited are you to host the Kingdom's first post-shutdown, which will be our mid-rank?
I'm ecstatic.
That's great.
To have honestly, I know there are 8 other parks within Dragonspines that they could have said, hey, this park is more established and they have bigger numbers, that the Kingdom could have honestly gave them mid-range, hands down. But, for us as a collective to be able to host within our first year of being a park, to host a kingdom event, it was exciting when I got that news, honestly.
It's fantastic news.
We're already starting to work on the logistics for it. You know, talking to Morgan about what exactly the park is responsible for. As he told me, the park is responsible for everything, and the kingdom's only responsible for getting people to come.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's congratulations on having that. Yes, Dragonspine, our mid-reign is going to be in Scorpion's Peak. Spoilers, not spoilers. Anyone who's been paying attention was aware that this was coming, but breaking it on KOK, congratulations, Scorpion's Peak. And now, let's get to the serious questions, Blayro. All right?
Okay.
So I would like to know, how hot is it in Arizona?
The best way to put that, and I love this adjective, is spring is hot, summer is hell. If there's anything constant about Arizona, it's constantly hot. And I mean, there are times that I would like to be a lizard or a cacti because then the heat would not cause me any problems.
There you go. That's fair. All right. Morgan would like to know, given your height, what does the air smell like at your altitude?
Well, the next time I see Morgan, I'm killing him. I don't pay that any attention because I mean he's really not that much shorter than me, anyways.
That's fair. You, me, and Morgan will make a very tall group of people talking to each other. It was funny because when we went to Burning Lands, some of Burning Lands met me for the first time, and they're like, "Oh, you are much bigger than I thought you were," and I was like, "Oh, well, thank you, I appreciate that." But you actually make me look small, so that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes.
I kind of have that effect with a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, there's a question that's coming up right now, and it actually brings up you being the tallest person in the kingdom. You and Gideon Stormcaller are the two tallest, and you might be the same height. How does it feel to be the tallest person in a kingdom?
No effect because that's kind of been me since I was 16.
There you go. There you go.
Tallest one on my football team, tallest one on the baseball team, tallest one in my family.
I believe it. Okay. All right. Stillhat would like to know, what's the best kind of dragon?
Me personally, I love the blue dragon. It's beautiful. Just the way the blue dragon carries itself is mythical. I mean, he's kind of biased because blue is also my favorite color. But it's the blue dragon is a calming dragon.
All right. Does the lightning breath weapon have anything to do with that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. All right. Look at me knowing stuff about dragons over here. All right. Blayro, who is your favorite fictional knight?
I would probably say I would probably say it was Percival.
Okay. All right. Can't argue with Percival. Zachary would like to know, what's the best fictional or non-fictional sword name?
Well, really don't really know too much about that because really, I mean, honestly, the only sword I really know about is Excalibur.
Okay.
But I mean, that's kind of like a cliche answer. Everybody knows about that sword. But really haven't really delved into swords that much to really know a lot of different swords that have. I mean, of course, my favorite sword is the sword of the Highlanders.
Okay.
Just the look of that sword is just wonderful. But I don't even know if that even has a name.
Well, I mean, famous swords across time do. Of course, I have the Garanara, which is, it's fictional. If you want to use that, you can. I mean, it is my weapon, and I would get a point for it. But anyways, we'll move on. Still would like to know, do you play Magic the Gathering?
At this time, no, but I want to get into it. I can only do so much Pokemon.
Okay. All right. Well, then what we'll do, Stillhead, if you are listening, please remember this. We'll bring the cards when we come, and we'll show you how to play the game.
And I have 3 people in the park, which one is my champion, that apparently they play MTG every Sunday at his house.
Well, there you go. You could pick it up. You could pick it up quick then. Fantastic. I have 3 questions that are your favorites. Okay. So first off, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, The Godfather.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite amusement park?
Don't have one.
The best answer. Best answer. Who goes to amusement parks? And what about your favorite tabletop?
I don't do roller coasters.
There we go. I am in that boat with you. We can go. We'll go to an amusement park together, and we'll play the games, and we'll eat the food, and everyone else can ride rides.
That worked for me.
All right. And what's your favorite tabletop game?
My favorite tabletop game, honestly, is chess.
Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to play me in some Catan. I'm notorious for my Catan skills. Apparently. I didn't know that I was.
Look that up.
Settlers of Catan. Stillhead won't play with me anymore because I kill her in it. But that's besides the point. Eliza Joy would like to know your favorite color. You've mentioned it multiple times.
Oh, I have 3 actually.
Oh, okay.
Black, blue, and it's a very light silver.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So those are my 3 favorite colors.
Fantastic. All right. This question's been on here for a bit. I guess I'm going to keep asking it. Is Kodiak more of a Jedi or a Sith?
I can't honestly answer that. I haven't known you long enough.
There we go. I'm an enigma. I'm none. I'm none and I am everything all at once. Still, I would like to know, was the Never-Ending Story even a good movie?
Oh, I love the Never-Ending Story.
Okay.
Who gets to ride? Who gets to ride? Who gets to ride on a flying dog?
Yeah, that's fair. These are some of my questions. Who would play you in a live-action Amtgard movie?
I don't know, because I don't know if there's anybody out there big enough to play me.
Well, who? I mean, we can get the angles. Remember, the hobbits weren't actually that short in Lord of the Rings. Who would play you if you could cast anyone to play you for the live-action movie of Amtgard?
I mean, if I could cast anybody, I'll just have to cast myself.
Well, there you go. That seems to start being a trend.
Nobody could be me.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I like it. But, like, given the opportunity to have Adam Sandler play Kodiak would be primo.
Yeah, but, I mean, me would be Tyler Perry, but even as funny as he is, he just still wouldn't have my quirks.
Yeah. I mean, Tyler Perry's like 6'4" too, though, isn't he? So he's not a short man. He almost could fill your shoes. Not quite, though, which makes you special. But
yes, it does. I'm a unique one.
You're walking in this live action movie. You're walking into the room. What's your theme song?
Enter the Sandman.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. And okay,
I would say Enter the Sandman, or Whom the Bell Tolls.
Okay, that works. So now we're not in Amtgard world. Now we're in a world where you have superpowers. What would your superpowers be?
I would say reading people's minds, but that could be a very scary notion. Um, I would probably say it would be to teleport.
Okay. Teleportation. Gotta like that. Gotta
Yeah.
like that. Gotta like that. Um, Still, I would like to know, who would you take with you to an abandoned island to start an amp guard community?
Um, well, I would have to take somebody that is knowledgeable of AmpGuard more than I am. So it would be Juicy, or um it would be yourself, or it would be Morgan. It would be someone that had the knowledge of AmpGuard that could answer questions that I could not.
Okay, that's fair. That's a great answer too. We gotta admit what we don't know, right? So, still, I would like to
Mm-hmm.
know, what's your favorite conspiracy, and what is your favorite amp guard conspiracy?
My favorite conspiracy, honestly, I have three.
Okay.
Is the first, the RFK assassination. I That is probably one of my biggest ones. Um, the assassination of MLK. And then the um the conspiracy of Fort Knox.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I did 6 years at Fort Knox. So, like, I get that. I feel where you're going with it. Big fan. What about an amp guard conspiracy?
Um, I I I I really don't know. I really I I hmm. That could be a very touchy subject.
Yep, it can be. We get the shadow government one almost every time anyone answers it, because the shadow government. But yeah, if you don't got one, that makes sense, because shouldn't really be any. But okay, so Lightning has a carryover question. Would you rather adopt 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
I think I would probably do the 100 duck-sized horses because they're gonna be small.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna eat a lot.
Okay,
But I have a horse-sized duck. Depending on the breed of horse, it could eat me out of house and home.
that's fair. That's fair. So, spin on the same question. Still, I would like to know: would you rather fight a duck-sized horse or a horse-sized duck?
Well, I'll probably do the horse-sized duck because I can just step on it.
Okay, so you would do the duck-sized horse.
Yeah, the duck-sized horse.
There we go. Okay, it's a trick question.
Because if it's a horse-sized duck, I just want a shotgun.
Yep, there you go. That's fair. That's fair. Still has a carryover question. Of course, it stays on here. Are birds real?
You just say birds.
Yes, birds. Are birds real?
Actually, I really think that they are. I really think they are a figment of our imagination.
Yep, there it is.
Because that many things that are flying around and there's not bird poop everywhere, that's a mystery.
Yep, that is crazy. So we have 3 either ors. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 options. I need you to pick one of them. The first one is Dark Crystal or the Labyrinth.
Dark Crystal, hands down.
Okay. Ooh, hands down. Okay.
Love that movie.
All right.
Love it.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
All right. I can agree. There we go. Hoagies or French bread?
Well, where I'm from, we really don't have either. We have po' boys, which that's a special kind of bread.
Mm-hmm.
But being born in Boston, hoagies.
Yep. There we go. There we go. East Coast. I know. All right. Sir Nikolai would like to know, what are you drinking, and do you drink that often?
Water, and I drink a very large amount of water.
Fantastic. All right. We have a couple more pick and choose. Wine or spicy apple juice, and Stillhead would like me to point out or be pointed out to me that that is ale. So wine or ale?
Wine.
Okay.
Wine.
Ice cream or custard?
Ice cream.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
I'm a cook. I can't choose. I like them both.
Oh, yeah, right.
Some days are pancake days. Some days are waffle days. I don't have a favorite.
All right. I can't argue against it. All right. You don't know who Tajima is, but does Tajima deserve Sonic?
I'm not qualified to answer that question.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Sir Smiley has a carryover question. Hot dog. Is it a sandwich or is it a taco?
You said a hot dog?
Yeah.
A hot dog is something that should never been invented.
Okay. Wow. All right. Okay. All right. So you're a cook. So let's see if we can get the cook side of this answer. How much is too much to spend on breakfast?
Oh, breakfast is priceless.
That's fair. That's fair.
That is the most important meal of the day. Is what starts your day off. There should be no cost associated with breakfast at all.
Okay. All right. So what is your favorite thing to add to a bowl of yogurt?
Fruit.
Any specific fruit?
Blueberries.
There it is. All right. Morgan would like to know, what's the square root of a bowl of oatmeal?
A spoon.
A spoon. It seems to be the answer nowadays. Stillhead would like to know, what's your favorite spoof band and what's your favorite band?
Well, I don't think I've ever heard a spoof band, but my favorite band is Metallica.
Okay.
Well, it's Metallica, and slowly creeping up is a group called Lacuna's Coil.
Okay. So a spoof band would be Spinal Tap. So or the Monkees, I guess, would be another option there. But that's fine. You don't need to necessarily have a spoof band, but Metallica is your favorite. Last two questions, and then we'll get to our announcements. If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be, and why? Is it Freddie Mercury?
If I could meet anybody in history, I would have really liked to sit down and talk to Tesla.
Tesla. Okay. All right. So I have a question from the chat. Sir Smiley would like to know, when are you going to join House Amalgam? AMALGAM with him and Juicy.
I didn't know I had that invitation.
Well, there it is. Maybe you need to reach out because it looks like that's been offered to you. Blayro, last question, and then we're gonna get to announcements, and we'll say farewell. Let me get my breath. If it takes a chicken and a half a day and a half to lay an egg and a half, how long would it take a grasshopper with a wooden leg to kick the seed out of a dill pickle?
I'm just gonna plead the fifth.
Okay, that's fair.
Kind of ignorance.
It is a Morgan question, so that makes sense.
It is. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Blayro, thank you so much for coming on today. Let me get my announcements and then we'll say our goodbyes. Dragonspine, you just heard our mid-range has been booked for Scorpion's Peak. For people who are still trying to do any of the challenges at the Monarch level, Regents level, or Champion challenges at the Kingdom level, week 6 of the Champion Challenge just went to Discord. You're going to pick your nature chakra this week. Anyone who's looking to catch up on those, if you finish weeks 1 through 3, you'll be available to take the next tuning test. We had one person turn in the tuning test last time, so they'll be taking their joning test the first time that comes up. At the kingdom level as well, I'm trying to think if there's any other announcements at the kingdom level. I don't think there is. Blayro, do you have any announcements you would like to make?
Well, again, for the people that maybe came on after we talked about that, September 18th, we are having an event called Battle Under the Sun that's going to be held at Scorpion's Peak. Details will be forthcoming. And then, well, you've already said about the Kingdom Mid-Reign. Our mid-reign is going to be July 24th, which is also, we are inviting everybody to come out to that as well. And just so everybody can kind of put this on their calendar, in springtime of 22, we have an event that is in the works. We have not come up with the name for that, but we kind of borrowed the format from an event in Rising Winds called Battle Cry that they were holding every year until last year it was being canceled because of COVID. But we're going to kind of bring that format out west.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that.
Fantastic. All right. And with no other announcements, folks, this has been Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak. I'll see you next week with Constantine. Goodbye.